We're going to talk about shaving the back braces now. This is a common modification that I do on Martin guitars made after about 1994. I don't know the exact year when they changed, but after about 1994, mid-90s, Martin started using tall back braces here. Now, if you look, I'll show you some pictures, but if you look through your sound hole, you will notice that these front two back braces are tall. The next two are the same height, more or less, a little bit taller even. And that was a modern thing. And prior to that, the first two were tall, but the back two were short, half an inch tall and rounded. And again, I'll show you some pictures here in a minute. And so one of the modifications that I do is to shave those two rear back braces back down to about a pre-90s height. They're not the same width, but they are the same height, and geometrically, engineeringly, that results in about the same sort of thing. And I will tell you what you can do to check that is tap the back of the guitar, because that's the whole point of doing this. It's not to just meet a magical number or anything like that. If there's a change in the sound, and you may not want that sound, you know, there's a characteristic sound that the tall back brace has. Gibson, for instance, uses tall back braces, and there's a certain sound they have. But if you're trying to get the most sound, the most response, and the most feel out of your guitar, this is an option for you. Okay, so let's tap the back of this guitar. That's a fairly even response over the back of the guitar. I'll tap it again when I get done, and we'll recompare these tones. What I'm listening for is that area right there. But basically, if you pick up a pre-war or an older Martin and you tap on it, you'll hear a real woof right there. I'll go get one and we'll see. Unfortunately, I don't have another D28 here. No, I don't. I got 18s, 21s. I don't have a 28 here. But you will hear this guitar and the difference. But let me go get a D21, which is going to be a Brazilian rosewood. It's going to be brighter. We'll tap it. In fact, I'll just get a couple of guitars, a couple of older Martins, and we'll compare. This is the shop D18 from 1972, and so it has low back braces. These rear two are low. Listen to the pitch of this one as I tap it. Okay, here's a D21 from 1965. The D21 from 1965. Here's what I notice about playing the guitar. First of all, I've done this for many, many years, and I've had people listen from out front because, you know, it sounds different from out front. And I've heard most people say something like, well, it has a more complex tone, it projects better, sounds richer, a little bit fuller. As with most modifications, it's a small difference. You know, Martin makes good guitars right off the bat. But you make one small difference, another small difference, another small difference, and pretty soon it's a noticeable difference. But the other thing is the guitars in your hands. And what I noticed from the guitars with the shaved back braces is they're responsive. The back is kicking me in the ribs like this. I feel the guitar more. It vibrates a lot more. It vibrates under my arm. I can feel that, and I can feel it against my ribs. For the same reason that, you know, I like to have the lightweight tuners, because I think I can feel it in my hands more. You know, I feel the neck vibrating. And so by the time you do something like the tuners, and I've done the tuners on this one, by the way, I replaced the Grover Rotomatics with Goto tuners, and, you know, I did that on the previous test too. But it makes the guitar so much lighter on the headstock. It stiffens the neck up, taking the weight off of it. and you feel it. You feel it in your hands. I do. Maybe I'm more sensitive to it. I have a hearing loss. Maybe I'm more sensitive to things like that. But when I get a guitar that's lively and shakes when I'm playing it, boy, I like that. And I play better as a result. If the guitar feels good to you, you play better. So, any sound difference aside, the guitar is just alive in my hands. It shakes, the back vibrates, hits me on the ribs. And I know you get sound transmission through your bones, and you'll notice if you ever put a tuning fork on your tooth or anything like that, you'll get that sound transmission through your bones. I wonder how much of a guitar sound comes through our hands, comes through our face, through the muscles, the bones in your face. You're looking down like this. Your jaw vibrates. I mean, you put a tuning fork on your teeth, right? I mean, you get these vibrations in your face, your mouth. You get them in your ribs. And I wonder how much of that sound transmits to us. Maybe some people are more sensitive to it than others or whatever. But that's what I feel. And the first time I did the back braces on the guitar, 20 years ago, it was like, wow, it's alive now. That was a D18 GE. Yeah, used to do that quite a bit. I had 4 GEs myself, and one of them was a really good guitar, and I didn't do the back braces for like about a year. I owned it for a year, played it, and then I decided, okay, I'm going to do the back braces, and I went in there and did them because it already had a lot of bass, and I didn't want to give it more bass or make it bassier. I went ahead and did the back braces, came out and played it, and my audience said, oh man, that guitar sounds so much fuller, richer now. It's projecting better. And of course, I always have another guitar to compare it to. You see, it's never just a out of the blue test. You always have this guitar, and to compare the two, you don't make any changes to this one, and you make your changes to this one, and then you recompare. So in the recomparison, that GE all of a sudden was a notch up, and it didn't get too bassy, which is something that I thought, okay, so that's an interesting thing to know, because if you come in and scalp the top braces, the guitar is going to get bassier, but it's going to get woofier, and it's going to lose the stiffness of the top. So it gets mushy, woofy stuff that you might not want. When you do the back braces, you get a different tone. You get a richness, a complexity to the sound. And again, you may not want that. You may like that simple, focused sound. But I have never seen a guitar that the customer didn't like better after the braces were shaved. Of course, I did a few other things. I did the saddle and that. But this is a good case, because the only thing I've done to this guitar is the tuners. I made a bone nut, which is like, a big deal. It's a change, but it's a small change. I did a bone nut. I did a bone saddle, set the action, and I did non-slotted bridge pins. And those are pretty minor changes. And I videoed it in the A part with all of those changes. Then I did the back braces. So all I'm saying is this guitar is not one of my more modified ones. It's a more stock guitar. I think various guitars respond differently to various changes. So the other guitar that I've got here is an OM 28 Eric Clapton model, and we're also going to look at it in this video, and I'm going to show you again before and after on the back braces. So there's 2 guitars where you can see, oh yeah, I made a difference on the OM. Maybe not so much on the Dreadnought. Whatever, I don't know. All I can tell you for sure, it's alive. I think this guitar sounds great. I normally I like scallop braces, but this is a nice sounding guitar. I'd probably leave it. I've left a couple of my other guitars with non-scallop braces. The D21, for instance, it's non-scallop, so I don't have a bias against it or anything. But this is the Clapton guitar with the original back braces. Fresh neck reset, bone saddle, bone pins, but the tall back braces.
Let's play it a little bit.